I'm in Manhattan heading up to SiriusXM to talk to one of Fantasy Sports Radio's most popular experts. But this is not just any expert, because she was one of the world's most famous adult film stars. I'm talking, of course, about Lisa Ann. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Tim.
Hi, Tim. I'm Lisa Ann. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You weren't just any old adult film star.
No.
You were the adult film star. You were Sarah Palin.
My opportunity to be Sarah Palin in 2008 was quite an amazing experience. I got to travel to different countries. I did a million appearances, and I had already kind of wanted to retire before this happened. So 2012, I got solid with my retirement plan. It was a culmination of the fantasy of getting more sleep, having more time to watch sports all the time and talk about it. And it just came to this perfect conclusion December 2014.
So how did you make the transition of being in like one of the biggest adult film stars to fantasy sports? Like, did you go to broadcast school or anything like that?
Yeah, it was a lucky draw for me, okay? I was doing a show for Sirius in LA on Playboy Radio. My fans would call into the show and they would talk to me about sports. One of my bosses in LA said, you should go out to New York and you should speak to Matt Deutsch. Matt had a Playboy fantasy football show going, and he said, do you know fantasy sports? And this is where it got like, huh, I don't. But it's not hard to learn when you have a lot of other friends that played it. So I just reached out to my friends. I went back to meet with Matt, and he said, let's have you do a trial show, and it clicked right away.
You say that you've had sex with hundreds of athletes. Does that give you some kind of insider's edge into fantasy sports? Is this like insider trading, that kind of stuff?
It would be unfair to say that I didn't. I try not to use it, but...
That's like what Martha Stewart went to jail for, right? You're the Martha Stewart of fantasy sports.
And she really rocked prison, didn't she? It was
well, I'm
like
sure you
no
would
problem. No
God
problem.
forbid, of course.
I do get the inside on when I see something happening with a team. I'll talk with someone, because a lot of the guys that I talk to, I've never met. There's also a couple hundred players I've talked to that we've engaged by phone because we met on Twitter, and we just talk, and I'll find out about what's going on with the coach. Like, I just feel that something's not right there. You guys are not getting along. What's going on, Also, I'll know when a player decides to get surgery a little bit earlier than he had to, because the team's not going to do well, and it's better for him to plan for next season.
In 2014, you wrote a letter to the world. You said that you dreamed of one day having a perfect season in fantasy football.
Yes.
I'm not very rich, and I'm not physically attractive, and I'm not good at sex stuff.
Okay.
But
You've
in a lot
had a
of
perfect
ways,
season?
no, I'm saying in a lot of ways, we're not so different after all.
Oh, we're not different at all. We're all going for the same goal. But I was going to say, like, did you have a perfect season? Like,
no, I haven't had a perfect season, but I also want one too.
We all
that's
want
the
one.
Dream.
What would it feel like?
I would want to not keep living anymore, because that's what I would want it to be. You know what I mean? That's the peak.
That could go on the tombstone.
Oh.
That stat sheet from that season goes on the tombstone.
I'm always trying to think of a good tombstone.
That gets read at your eulogy.
Oh, man.
Right?
Congratulations on having such a successful transition from adult films to the world of fantasy sports. Let's say I want to make the transition from fantasy sports to the world of adult films. Do you feel like I've got what it takes?
Of course you've got what it takes. I mean, it's all about your genre. I mean, you could definitely be in the reality porn genre.
Why do you think
it's not
I
like
would
you're
be in reality porn?
Well, because you look like a real guy.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Man.
Right, right. So you could be in that category and you could crush it.
Yeah.
And a lot of men like to watch a guy that isn't like totally shredded and all these cool tattoos, because they're like, he distracts me because I'll never look like him. That's why Ron Jeremy was so popular, and you are a million times hotter than Ron Jeremy. And look how far he took his career.
Wow. Well, that's very nice of you to say.
Yeah.
I'm like the rich man's Ron Jeremy.
You are the rich man's Ron Jeremy.
What a thing to have for the rest of my life. Maybe that's another good tombstone thing.
That kind of is a good tombstone thing.
Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure.